presenter as well as other participants. We recommend you to switch off your video during the presentations. Please use chat box in case if you have any questions for the presenters. There is a raise hand button in case you have something important to share. So the next. Yeah. Hello, you can proceed. Yes, by the end of this webinar, you will be familiar with British Council and other online resources suitable for teaching secondary students. And you have an access to sample lesson plans that we use online resources to support learner outcomes, particularly in the secondary level. Yeah, let's proceed further. Well, today here we are with the survey results. We took a survey among different teachers in 7 different provinces and tried to explore what you are going with right now. So we'll show you a quick survey results from what the context we are in. You see, there were 56 responses. Some of you might be in this presentation today from all different provinces, and we just wanted to know where they are at the present context. So next, in this survey, you can see we asked different level teachers ranging from 6 to 12, lower secondary, the former higher secondary, 9, 10, and 11, 12 as well. So which level do they actually teach? We try to make the data more authentic so that we'll come to your own voices. So next. Yeah, and in this survey, we also asked a question, because when we say with the connectivity, we need to have some electronic gadgets. And majority of the participants share that they have electronic gadgets. And there were a few who had challenging with those having laptops or electronic gadgets. Next. Yes, well, you all know we all have challenges. Right, like similarly, the teachers also had challenges in their region. We just wanted to show you here what were their voices regarding the challenges. Yeah, one of the teachers said I had to ask the cell phones of colleagues for the purpose. We all know we are working with limited internet access, and we all know most of the students are not equipped even with the smartphones at homes. So in this regard, we are trying to shift from those very contexts to make it more digitalized and connectivity. Like secondly, if you see one of the participants shared, firstly, I have been facing low participation of the students. Cause behind could be more different reasons, and there might be a challenging of access. And he was from one of the districts, and facing sometime there might be weak mobile data, and that there might be power cut disturbance, but lack of technology skills on the part of learners that we as a teachers need to support is the most burning issue that we need to take into concern. Let's go to the next one. So in this regard, now you can see a picture on your screen. Can you just write down on your chat? So what do you mean? Or what message can you get from this picture? Anybody? Yeah. This is a picture on your screen. Sad and happy. Okay. Happy to sad to happy. Great. Yeah. And you can see Lakshman and other Pushkar Joshi said to happy. Let's find opportunity out of the challenges. Very great idea. Yes, from miserable to satisfactory, and from this a transformation. Great ideas. Great. From undefined to defined. Sad is changed into happy. This is the positive vibe that we need to think today. So here, like similar as you all share from negative to positive, let's start from positive vibe. Sure, being an English teacher in the countryside is a challenge. We all have lots of challenges. There might be disconnection of internet when you are presenting the midway of presentation, sometime unfamiliar to the students, even some parents. But what If you see the last line, my own limited knowledge in the newly emerged technological means of learning and so on. It means where we are, let's reflect our own digital literacy on using the technology so that we can make our students more in the comfort zone. So let's go to the next one. Now, Hala will be sharing about what are the basic principles and guidelines before we go to the classroom that we need to take in concern. Over to you, Hala.
Thank you very much, Ashok, and hello everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the webinar, and I'd like also to tell you that I'm so excited and happy to be a part of this webinar and to be a part today with a part of the Nepal British Council team. I'll talk to you now about the main principles and the main guidelines if you'd like to use the online resources to support your online lessons. And I'm going to get you to guess what the principle or the guideline is by showing you a picture. And I want you to type in the chat box what you think the principle or the guideline is. Are you ready? If you're ready, please type in the chat box. Say okay. Cool.
Yes, most of the answer is okay and yes. Great. I think you are muted. Hala, you can unmute yourself. Quick check.
Okay, I want you now to look at the screen, look at the picture, and tell me what the main principle I'm trying to tell you about here. If you'd like to go digital, if you'd like to move your lessons online, if you'd like to use online resources to support your lessons, what is the key message here? Please type in your answer in the chat box. Doing the same thing differently? Trying a different mode together, planning for multiple options, update needs, avoidance principle, doing smart work, that's interesting. The paradigm shift, being innovative. Lovely, that's very interesting answers. So the main principle here is not to reinvent the wheel. If there is a very good and trustworthy resource out there and you know it and it works fine with your students, you've tried it out and you know it's reliable, do not make things from the scratch. Do not reinvent the wheel. Start with what is really available and what's existing in your context. Are you ready for next one? Now look at the screen, type in the chat box and tell me what the main principle is. Reflect yourself, okay. Precise location, reflect, be specific, that's interesting. Focus on the need, that's another interesting response. Contextualize the things, that's very good. Understand the focus of the lesson, use local issues, yes, exactly. So the main principle here is to be, guys, to be sensitive to your local context. I understand it's really cool to be, you know, to use the cutting edge technology and to be well informed and updated with the zillions of online tools and all the fancy sophisticated websites. But if these things are not really applicable to your local context and are not really suitable to your learners and their needs, they are unfortunately useless. So I think you'd better start with your local context and you start with an accurate perception of your teaching situation. Then you can adjust whatever is available in your circle to your local context. Next one. Type in the chat box, please. This is going to be tricky a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see
Keep
what the views
things
will
in
be.
center. Okay.
Great.
Ah, lesser is more. Less is more. Good. Win-win. Well, actually, I'd like to thank this. Well done, Shivani. It's actually less is more. So it's not about the quantity of exercises or the quantity of activities or the endless lists of links and online tools. It's all about the quality and the focus and engagement. So your priority as a teacher in this very difficult time, and it's a crisis that everyone across the world is having, is to be focused and to put your students engagement as a priority. And when I go online and deliver an online lesson, I'd rather focus on two solid activities, well planned, well prepared. I know they are engaging, I know there is a focus in teaching them, rather than going online with five, six, seven activities with no purpose, no focus. And you don't want to overwhelm your students because they are overwhelmed already, and your time and effort also are two valuable resources, and you don't want to waste that. Next one, let me check the chat box.
I think they are on the way.
Disconnect. Freedom is essential. I like that. Not all your students have equal abilities. That's interesting. Learner autonomy. Well done, Gita B. I hope I'm saying your name right. Yes, well done. It's specifically the learner autonomy. Your job is exactly the same as my job today. You know what's my job today is not to direct you to uh, links and impose these links on you and ask you to use them and only them. That's not my role today. My role today is to help you make informed decisions and make your right choices given your understanding of your context and your background. It's the same thing you need to do with your students, your learners. It's not your job to spoon feed them, to give them every time they come online with to give them like instructions of everything they need to do. Everything is out there on the internet. You need to train them to become more independent, more autonomous, so they can make their own choices. The learning doesn't happen only in the classroom or even in the virtual classroom on Zoom or on Teams or on Skype. The actual learning happens while the students work out the knowledge for themselves and they find the information themselves. The more effort they do to find the information and the knowledge, the more the knowledge becomes retainable and memorable. Next one, can you guess? Let's check the inbox or the chat box. Collaboration, inclusion, teamwork. Yes. Social
Yes, yes.
distance. Okay. They don't seem to do social distance in the picture.
Yeah.
Build up the community. Yes, exactly. Solidarity. Yes, exactly. Exactly. We are social human beings. We cannot exist alone. Although we should be social distancing now, but you need to find your tribe. You need to join a community. You need to join the party. Find communities of practice around you. Join them virtually. Community of practice is a safe space for teachers to come together and share their ideas, share their experiences, and even share their concerns. I mean, you can come to the teachers community you're a part of and tell them that you're not 100% confident of trying this or that, and ask them about their tips and their top advice, and if they were in your shoes, what they would do, etc. And I'd like to encourage you to join the British Council community of practice. It's the biggest community of practice in the world in any discipline, and you can sign up for a membership for free on the British Council website, the Teaching English website, and also you can join the community of practice of teachers on the Facebook group. It's called British Council Community of Teachers Community of Practice. Now over to you, Ashok.
Thank you, Hala, for things. So I'd like to continue with the same images. As you can see in the images, can you tell us what is the image about? Yeah, connecting the same earlier versions. So connectivity among teachers and parents. Yeah, equity and equality. Okay, great. Gopal, Vishal, participation. Okay. Creativity, great, different being connected, different abilities, multiple intelligence, digitalization, diversity, equal participation, use of digital tools, digital literacy, cross-subject collaboration, integrated teaching, willing to do. I like Siva Prasad Ariel. This is what you need to have: willing to do, uniqueness, connectivity to all learning, versatile, focus on 21st century skills, great. I can do. KP Gimiri writes, I can do, yes. From starting from the next one, Hala. Yes, you can come up with this. Hala, can you go to the next one? Yeah. So the first thing before we connect to the technology is basics. What we need to have before we explore online. What you have, whether you have readiness or not, great. Whether you have multiple skills or not, great. Whether you can connect to the technology or not. Let's look. You can see someone is running out, someone has, there are different tools inside the things which you can look up. Let's come to the next image here. What can we say from this image? From this image? Yeah? From this image, let's say resources, okay, great, resources, fine. Being updated, digital literacy. So we talk about managing class, organizing a lesson using technology, and face-to-face lessons might be different. So can you write down quickly on the chat box, what are the elements, just a minute, what are the elements that we need to consider while managing a class using technology? Resources, resource management, okay, organizing, what else? What else? You can go on writing, yes. So the keyword I have, place and time, great. Digital content, great. Educational technology, strategy, good. Kalpana stressed says timing, very good. And yeah, skills, involvement, time management, fantastic. Effective communication, plan. Yes, planning the content is very important. Class management, selected materials, okay, knowing the students, access and planning, local materials utilization, skills to handle technology, planning. Good. That's before you go or you use technology, we need to concern about the basic things. So internet connectivity, yes, Lalit, very nice idea. Access, Lakshmi said access, great. And then after we come to Krishna says resource management and use, motivation, fantastic. Rita says utilization of local resources, willpower, or great. That's really nice. Hala, can you go further? Basics of e-learning, digital literacy and etiquettes. That's good. And readiness. So look, we need to have planning the content as you just shared. We need to manage technology which works to your classroom. And the most important these days in using is student-teacher interaction. Whether we are only speaking up, are we only speaking majority of time, or we are looking from the interaction? Like most of you are writing on the chat form, this can be a particular example. We work or connect with the technology with the students, and this fosters participation. And some of you wrote earlier motivation, great, that's true. And finally, feedback is important. So let's coming, yeah, feedback is important and reflection. What did I do? What worked well in my classroom that day and change again? Now, what can you see in the picture like the first one? How to link, just a minute, Allah, just a minute, yeah. How to link with these textbooks. In the screen, you can see grade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are the textbooks used in Nepal. So how can we collaborate? How can we connect? Our focus today is connecting text to technology. So Jyoti says collaboration, linking curriculum and resource. Gauri Dakal says fantastic. So how can we connect? How can we link? This is the major issue that many teachers are going up. So you can see link means localize the learning. Great. By linking the content that you find from in your curriculum, what you are there to supposed to teach, and where can you find here in a simple word, locating resources that are available online. There are plenty of resources online, but which one is good? Let's be selective and based upon your curriculum, based upon your extension activities, and based upon the learning objectives. Yes, Yukta Narun says good. Yes, exploiting related resources, very good. And curriculum integration. Sunday says curriculum integration, that's fantastic. And contents and the technology should be integrated. If we cannot, we are simply using technology for entertainment, not engagement. Let's use technology for engagement, and through technology locating and selecting and exploiting the different resources online. Now moving to the next. Yes, let's come to the discussion first. Just a minute. What are the different similarities and differences between face-to-face class and online class? Face-to-face class and online class. Just can you just write on the few comments on your reflection on your chat box? Social patience. Okay, Chetra Joshi says social patience. One way. One way can be either both. Yes, we can make interactive, physical presence in face-to-face class. One way, face-to-face class has physical presence. Content oriented. Dharmendra says less interaction. Great. Learner centric, physically active participation, time limit, physical distancing. Yes, face-to-face can be interactive and online can be interactive as well. No disconnection issue. Very fantastic, Prajol. In face-to-face class, we have no disconnection issue. Great. And online demands more part of teacher. That's really nice. Suramani Rizal says physical distancing. And Sitaram Nirola says no eye contact. Yeah. A disturbance on internet. This is a pertinent issue these days. Gopal Bashal says tech skill demanded. Fantastic. So before we start online class, are we equipped with basic technological knowledge or not? If you have less technological knowledge, you might have to suffer, you might have to get in conflict more. That's why there are some similarities and differences. Online house rules are there. House rules can be in both one. And yes, you can see many people are saying regarding Zoom, there are several security issues. And here also we have to say you time and again, please mute your microphone, please stop your video. So this might happen in the class. So you can see that there was a saying going on, stop video, mute, unmute. Look at these technological words coming up. Lack of knowledge might make you more suffer, and it might be difficulty on understanding what students said. So let's manage. Now, coming to the queries, how to manage. Let's go to the next one. How to manage with this teaching online. That's one of the objectives. So there are the three things. Let's come to the first one, beginning. What can you do in the beginning? Can anyone, uh, uh, sorry, yes, can anyone write down what can you do in the beginning of while teaching online? Having netiquettes, saying rules, okay, orientation, very good. Satyam Rai says collect resource, registration, interesting, planning lesson, warm-ups, icebreaker. I like the Gita says icebreaker. Dharmendra says warm up. Deepak Ragni says setting rules, planning, brainstorming, inspiration. I like the word inspiration, orientation first, fantastic, motivating, great, asks about their status, what's called well-being, good, introduction, it might be connectivity, energizing, then good, memorize parents support, fantastic, brain gym, very nice word, brain gym, brainstorming, slide presentations, we can come later, and that's setting the context. I like the word setting the context. Well planning, very good. If you are talking about well planning, so before we go for online, we need to have a beginning what to do. Then let's go to the next element. Just what could be the next element? Middle part. What to do in the middle part? What to do in the middle part? Activating schemata, Helen's Adhikari said. Prajol says vocabulary in the middle part, okay. It's engagement in the medium, could be, we can use, yes, engagement, very nice. Engagement can be discussed in the middle part, interaction can be done, presentations can be done, actual teaching occurs in the middle part, fantastic idea. And joyful, effective delivery of content. I like the word, what you say, Churamani Vijal says, effective delivery. And what could be the last part? What could be the last part of online presentation? Last part, feedback, okay, sum up, motivate, reflection, great, assessment, great, dividing into group, okay, consolidation, reflection, and the last part is actually end. Very simple. Beginning what to do, middle what to do, and end what to do. It's not you take 2 hours or 1 hour or 45 minutes, but we make a timing what to do at the beginning, what to do in the middle, and what to do at the end. Let's go further. So we talk about sample lesson plan. Here we are trying to show you 2 different samples. Firstly, I will take a sample from grade 8. Grade 8 and grade 8 lesson 1. The first lesson is a travelogue. This is a screenshot from your book that some of you might be teaching. At this stage, you are in the beginning of the session. Now is the time which lesson to integrate with which part of technology. As I said earlier, connecting text to technology. There should be a blending between the both. Otherwise, we might run out of ideas. So here is about travelogue. It talks about engaging the learners, naturally beautiful places, places of historical importance, places of religious importance, tourist attraction in Nepal, and popular play regions, why they are popular. Look, critical thinking is also there, exploration is also there, and the chapter starts from learner's experience. So how to start? Let's start. I'll show you a sample demo lesson plan that we go on online. First, just a minute. First, while you are teaching travelogue for 45 minutes, the first beginning of lesson, let's divide this time 45 minutes into different halves. As I said earlier, beginning, middle, and end. Now, when you teach travelogue, what can be done in the beginning of lesson? Can you have a quick type? Your reflection, please. Most of you are. What can be done while teaching this travelogue when you are teaching online for the first 10 minutes? What can we do? So, documentary, okay, related to it, motivation, show pictures, fantastic, defining what is travelogue. You can, yes, play a video, introduction, presenting pictures, exploring pictures, interact about the travel, video, ask about different places you visited, ask about different places you visited, okay. Then lead in activities, ask preaching questions. Have you traveled? I like the word, have you traveled any places? Tell a story, could be elicit. So here what we do is that first is, as you said earlier, welcoming learners to the class. Include instruction, because this is the difference between online and face-to-face. we take instruction. Can you all please mute your microphone and off your video for a few minutes? If necessary, we can tell you. This can be an instruction. Warmer, as you all said, you can do a sort of warmer activity. Can you name any 5 places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting could be done. And we can also say, what is your objective of the lesson? You can say, as today we shared in today's present webinar, we are going to do this. So we can tell objectives. We are trying to learn travelogue about the different travelogue writing, or writing a travelogue about your experience or relating your experience. Then only, as you all said, that we can talk about the pictures. We can talk about the pictures. If you are using PowerPoint presentation, you can show the pictures on the screen. Then link that picture with a chat box responses. What is the picture about? Have you been there or not been there? So this could be the thing in the first part, introduction for 10 minutes. And let's come to second part. That's the middle of the session, which is the main part. What could be done in the middle of the session while teaching travelogue? Anyone? Your idea on the chat box, please. Ideas in the chat box. What could be done while teaching travelogue in the middle of the session? What can we do? What activities can we do? Purpose of traveling. Okay, teach vocabulary. Yes, suppose you can show, this is a picture of a temple, particularly which we call Super Devrali temple, which we can, this is a tourist area where many people visit from different parts of the country. Yeah, description. And teach reading could be discussion on different things necessary to travel. Could be place introduction. Nice. Hiral says place introduction. So this is the important part. Which tech tool are you using? Are you using PowerPoint, or are you using Word file, or are you using other files? So be very confident and act. Next, font size and color matters a lot. Sorry, can you go to back? Hella, can you go to back one, please? Yeah, thank you. So next is timing. Timing is very important in online class. Just sometime you might say, are you hearing me? It's very popular question these days. So how much time do you spend for are you hearing me? Mute, unmute. Please check. Concept checking questions. And annotation is very important. Sometimes you can write on the screen as well. If you are using Zoom, you can use whiteboard. If you are using even Microsoft Teams, you are using whiteboard. Even in Messenger chat, you can use different. So annotation is also important while describing any lesson through online. So look at this. So you present about travelogue could be done in the middle part for 25 minutes. Now, what is the third part? Ending of the lesson. Let's can you just have a quick remark or reflection on your chat? What could be done to teach travelogue at the end of the lesson, please? Ending of the lesson. Post-task discussion. Okay, evaluation. Some activity related to the specific details. What they got it. Okay. How did you find today? This fantastic. Kumar says that's nice. Summarizing the lesson, Dharmendra says, reflection, ask students to express wish to visit, great. Make a YouTube video of their own, interactive, great. And correction at the end, big ideas, why and where they visit. So look at this, you share the whiteboard. So chat, you also, that likewise we are answering your queries from the chat box. Please, you can tell the name as well. Like Sarmila says, paraphrasing. Like Saraswati says, conclusion. If you use such kind of naming also, the learners become happy. And summarize the text. And lastly, please don't miss what to do next. In next class, we will be discussing about this. So regarding next class, sending them the resources, locating them the resources, supporting them the resources also need to be done within the classroom. So by this, 45 minutes can be organized from the beginning, middle, and end. This is how we just wanted to show you a demonstration. Now over to you, Hala. Now next sample lesson plan from grade 10. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashok. That was quite interesting. Hello, everyone, again. I'm going to show you now very quickly in 5 minutes a sample lesson taken from your national curriculum, grade 10, unit 12, and the lesson is about talking about personal experiences. And I want you now to take off the teacher's hat and to put on the student's hat.
Great.
You're on mute, Hala.
Yeah.
Sorry, somebody else is muting me. So I want you to look at the picture and tell me what you can see. Type in your answers in the chat box, please.
Wordsworth.
Yes,
Great.
Wordsworth, of course, of course. So what kind of flowers can you see in the picture? Daffodils, absolutely. So
Sorry, Hala. Someone's again muted you. Can I please request
okay,
participants to just mute themselves and not press the mute all button? It really disturbs the presenters. Thank you.
thank you very much. I would ask them some leading questions like, have you ever noticed flowers dancing? Do you enjoy watching different shapes of clouds in the sky? Yes, fluttering and dancing. Okay, then
Again, somebody muted Hala.
okay, this didn't happen with Ashok, so I wonder why really.
And the interesting is this also might happen with your students as well. Be careful. That's interesting.
All right, and I want you now to listen to this poem. Then be ready to answer some questions.
And hills, one that lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils.
Uh, okay. Now back to the presentation. I would ask them after watching the video to find the words that have the following meanings from the video. So to walk slowly around. Did you find a word with the same meaning from the video? Please type quickly in. Yes, wonder, correct. And the state of being alone. The state lonely, correct. The cheerful, happy, excellent. And the light wind is breeze, excellent. Extreme happiness is from, okay, bliss, yes. Thank you. So I'll talk them to the other stage of the lesson, which where they practice some controlled practice, and I'll show you another online source from the Learn English British Council website, and I'll start with this, you know, this prompt: nature is a precious gift to human beings, and what responsibility do we hold towards nature, and how can we protect the environment? And there is a very interesting lesson on the British Council website, which you can share with them. Here, and it's about the World Environment Day. It's an article, and it's interesting, with online task. It's interactive, so they can open this page on their mobile phones, or they can participate with their answers, and you click for them. And also there is a downloadable worksheet. You can assign them as homework or something. Now back to the presentation. Now I'll take them to the 3-year practice, where they produce some language, and the skill here is speaking, of course. And I can give them 2 scenarios. I can ask them, have you ever been amazed by nature like William Wordsworth? Tell us the story. Then I put them in the breakout rooms, or I get them to type in the chat box, or I can ask them, what do you think are the main problems that are facing the environment at the moment, and what can we do to help, etc. Then I get them to speak and to produce the language, and properly they can draw on the vocabulary they learned in the language input phase. So that was a very brief lesson. And how would you support your lesson from the national curriculum with online resources from the British Council or other resources? Now over to you, Ashok.
Thank you. So look at there are possible resources in British Council websites and others. So you can just click furthermore. So some of you might be using other resources as well. Can you click the next one, Hala, please? Yeah. So you can see the first resource is like it could be like teaching English. Most of you have heard this morning. Also, you might have heard, particularly useful for teachers like you. And when you go to learners level, it is Learn English. And when you are teaching for lower grades, we have Learn English Kids. But apart from this British Council websites, we have ELT Resourceful. There's a website which we can explore. And likewise, sometime we can have a snapshot of the book or additional reference materials, which we call ebooks these days. And there is an interesting website that have been very popular these days, and even Ministry of Education recommends. ePustakalay is also very popular, where you can tell the stories, poems, narratives, which are recorded version, which have videography, which you can download and at least adapt or match to your context. So now moving to the next one, Hala, please. Likewise, yes, some of you might have some questions like, what to try in limited connectivity. These are the very popular Facebook groups. You see, Learn English, BBC Learning English, Vivo Learning English, Learn English British Council, English Test, Cambridge Assessment English, Grammar Girl, and English Vocabulary, English Idioms, Grammarly, ESL Team, Dictionary.com. So look, these are the Facebook groups. Most of you are connected with Facebook groups. So from these groups, you can post your question, you can post your problem, you can match with the content. And as I said earlier, this is the right time for you to plan for the activities, so you can match with the context. Then only, even if in the limited connectivity, we can work online. So if you have no gadgets, no connection, everything that can be challenging, but at least let's try, let's create positive vibes. And as some of you said earlier, Open Learning Exchange Nepal could be. If you have practiced other resources also, you can share on your chat box, so that we will share to the other participants as well. So let's match the content. Let's match the content with the things so we can match, so we can develop our confidence. Likewise, practice English every day could be. So finally, these are the image credits. We try to take the image in our presentation, and the text from the contents we have taken from our own resources. And thank you all so for being here. If you have any questions, please write in the chat box. Thank you. Over to you, Vaishali ma'am.
Thank you so much, Hala and Ashok. I think that was very useful. We're going to use the last 5 to 10 minutes for questions now. I would please request you all to keep your videos off. Everyone has been behaving very well. We are very pleased with that. So keep your videos off, but please use the chat box for your questions, okay? There were 2 questions that were there earlier on, so maybe y'all could be taking that. One of them is kind of related to technical issues, so maybe we can start off with that. Anyone could take that question. What would you do if your video doesn't work during an online lesson? Participants, please could you keep your videos off, okay? And I think you'll have to unmute yourselves, okay? I don't know. Someone's just muting everybody.
Yeah. So if the video doesn't work in my online lesson, I should be ready with the transcript. Okay. So if the video crashed, doesn't work, the internet bandwidth is not strong enough, I have the transcript anyways in my curriculum, and I can read it out in a poetic in this sample lesson in a poetic or a dramatic way to the students so that they get the same feel. Okay, and sometimes some videos are downloadable, so you can download the video beforehand and share the video with the students before even you start the lesson, so they can watch the video on their own at their pace. Then they come to the online lesson only for discussion and for the language input. I hope this answers your question.
And to add, Hala, right, at least when you are working with technology, please have a plan B. When plan A doesn't work, we need to go with the plan B. It does not mean that technology is not everything. It's supportive. Let's work. Sometimes we need to. For example, most of the teachers you are present here, like you have in your grade 8, 9, and 10 textbooks, you have your listening scripts at the end of the text. So when you don't have listening audio cassettes or audio CDs, you make an oral, or some of you are so brilliant that you record it and ask from on your mobile phones. Even in the messenger you can record these days, and you can share your voice to the students. Could be. Please.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah. Yes. So the next one is a bit general, but probably it came out of when Hala was talking about freer practice. So maybe the question to you, Hala, should freer practice always be either speaking or writing?
That's a very good question, actually. The freer practice is that stage of the lesson where the students practice more freely, as the name suggests, all right, with some support from the teacher's side. And here we consider this phase of the lesson as the production phase, where they produce the language in a semi-natural context. And you all know that we have 2 productive skills. We have reading and speaking. So ideally, this phase of the lesson, the freer practice or the production phase, the students are asked to either to write or speak using the target language you taught them previously in the lesson.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe the next question, Ashok sir can take it. What can we do about resources where online access isn't possible?
When online access is not possible, the thing is that you need to have a backup. I mean, the application that works on offline, like when you have internet, for example, if you are working in a remote part of the district, and when you have limited connectivity, you can save the files in PDF. You have screenshot files. You can prepare the PowerPoint. You can put that screenshot. At least nowadays, many people who carry at least a flash drive, save the videos on the flash drive. Or the best thing is that as Hala said earlier, join the connectivity. For example, if you can just make a call to us, like British Council is there, or we can show you the resources, or we can show you the links, how to adapt with the text to the content, at least. And this is the right time which you can plan for the whole year. It's not necessary you teach every lesson online. At least prepare few lessons so that you can prepare for the whole year. And the interesting thing is, in online, if you prepare once, it works until the course is not changed. And that make a long lasting one, and that makes you more confident. So that's my answer. Whether it was satisfactory or not, over to you.
Thank you. The next one is about participation of the students. So probably anyone from you can answer it. Take it on. How can we assure maximum participation of students during online classes despite having very less time?
Would you like to go for that one?
Yeah, please. Or could be like just now, if you see what we were doing earlier is one of us were looking the chat, or there was a chat box nearby, and you observe. And another important thing is that let's pick up the students who did not speak in the, for example, in a classroom there might be 50 to 60 students, and 50 to 60 students that who spoke more. You can have a quick note on your left, and yes, that if you pick up the person, this person said very nice, and can you take something, you can pick the name, first name, and you can also point out some students. That fosters more participation and interaction. Chat is the very best place where we can encourage the students responded and start up the lesson, I guess.
And can I also add to this point, Ashok, that the more the materials are personalized and the more the lesson is relevant to the students' own experiences and own lives, the more participation they will show. So try also to use the students' surroundings, so you can involve the students themselves. You can ask the students to involve their parents, their surroundings, items or objects from their homes, their pets, their friends, so try to personalize and use their own environment to get them engaged in the lesson. And again, it's not about the number of activities, it's about how relevant and how engaging the activity is.
Okay. Thank you. Let's move to the next question. How can we assess our secondary students using an online platform?
Well, to go furthermore, I think we have the next webinar series which we talk about evaluation as well, right, Vaishali ma'am? So which you'll get in detail there as well. But it depends. When you access online, there are some applications. If you go to Teams, there are several creations that there is an assignment platform. There is a material platform that you can share. But if I give you a very simple instance that I saw from the cases where people were looking at the messenger, simple messenger also, what the teacher was taking a photo, grading, sending the materials, and when the students take a photo, send to the back to the teacher grade, sometimes put a smile, sometimes highlights the wrong area and asks to rethought. And next could be regarding grading online. The most important is that before we give assignments, let's prepare a simple rubrics so the learner can know themselves what to do, what not to do, and how to do. And just a minute, quick pause. Like there was a question from Dharmendra also, which I said, what is the right time? What is the right time limit for an online class? It depends upon your class size. For example, for grade 8 to 10, in online class, people can hardly wait more than an hour, right, Hala? What do you think so?
Yeah, but again, don't make it too long.
Yeah.
Online teaching is, well, surprisingly could be more tiring than face-to-face teaching. So don't make it too long. Don't make it too draining. Everything has moved overnight to digital and online. So the more realistic you are, the more thoughtful you are, the more buy-in you'll get from the students' side.
Great.
Okay, thank you. I think we have just time for just two more questions. I've taken it down here. The first
Okay.
one, how can we encourage our secondary students to write poems?
I think poetry and the poems and writing poetry is a matter of personal preference, right? And it's a kind, I mean, not everyone is into poetry, and not everyone is able to write poetry, and based on our deep understanding that not everyone learn the same way, and people have different learning styles, different ways of thinking. Let's not force them to write poems. If they can write poems after you support them with the language input, the necessary vocabulary, etc., etc. If you show them a model or something and everything, if they can produce it, that's very good news. That's fine. Be proud of that and get them to be proud of their work. But if not, if they cannot produce poetry, that's fine. I cannot produce poetry. I don't think many people in this school can write poetry. So don't force it. It's a talent basically.
Okay. Ashok, maybe you can take the last one. Digital literacy is quite challenging. How can we prepare the learners for learning when they are not digitally literate?
Very, very good question these days, looking at the context. Like, first, many people start digital literacy without asking about their well-being. We forgot humanistic approach. So let's, when you are starting couple of classes, don't worry that you need to complete every courses with digital literacy. First a couple of days, let's make them comfortable. Let's create them in a comfort zone. Let's ask them what they were doing, because they have forgotten schools. They have forgotten the walls of schools, colleges. Even they might have to hardly remember your face. So let's ask about their well-being. And then let's tell about our well-being. And now they will be have a connection. Let's develop a rapport building first. Before, as we shared in earlier beginning, many people might not know, so let's tell them basic instruction. This is how we can do it. And some people might be left behind. Again, tell them, don't get panic. We are here to support you. Make them comfortable first before we go for literacy. We are saying online technology, everything online and online. But for some, it's a panic for them. So first, let's talk about well-being. Let's talk about humanitarian. Let's talk about comfort. It might take 2 classes, doesn't matter. But let's motivate them first. Then after, gradually, we can go to literacy. That's my thought. Over to you, Ala.
No, I couldn't agree more, to be very honest. And let's all embrace the new reality. That's not the normal world we used to know. It's a different world. Let's embrace it. Let's acknowledge it, and let's all adapt to it. I think we, as teachers and teacher educators, we should adopt a soft approach, and in terms of assessment, delivery, lesson planning, and the more flexible and the more caring they will feel you are, the more engaging they will become, and the more engaged they will become, and the more committed they will become to their online learning. That's all from my side. And before I say goodbye, I just want to attract your attention that the Teaching English website has a dedicated page for COVID-19 to support teachers and teacher educators across the world. And there is a complete section for secondary teachers and teaching secondary students with a wealth of ideas, lesson plans, worksheets, videos, and everything. So please don't miss it out, and go and navigate it.
Thank you. And Vaishali ma'am also kept on the link on your chat box. You can look the link, and so that you could get more things. And if anything personally, please write us an email. We'll be always supporting you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hala and Ashok. I think that was a lovely webinar there. I'm sure they've got a lot of information. The recording will definitely reach all of you tomorrow, and all the links that they have shared will come up as a PDF document for you all as well. I've also put down a link there, which is the exact link that Hala just mentioned, which I'm sure will be helpful. Thank you once again. Thank you everyone for your questions. And the next series for the June sessions is going to start on June 5th. So please make sure you follow the British Council on our Facebook page, where you'll get more information about the upcoming webinars. And I hope to see all of you and many more of you in the next series of the Stay at Home, Continue to Learn webinars in association with NELTA. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. It was
Yes,
great meeting you all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
bye. Thank you.